Hi, we are back with another episode of My ArundelBiz Podcast, and we've got some very special guests today. This is going to be one of the greatest podcast episodes we've ever had. No pressure, okay? So,
no, we promise.
We promise.
To be honest, it is one of the favorite programs we have that I love writing about, promoting on social media, sending press releases out on. It's the Inclusive Ventures program, which hopefully most listeners and viewers have heard of, but if not, I'll go to the script here. It is an initiative that was launched by AAEDC in January 2021 and aims to help small businesses, minority-owned businesses, woman-owned businesses, and veteran-owned businesses in Anne Arundel County succeed and grow. And of course, in turn, help our local and state economy grow by providing the owners of these businesses with a robust menu of resources. So for our guests today, I'm very pleased to introduce Will Holmes, the man, the myth, the legend. He's the founder of Will Holmes Consulting and also the Baltimore Economic Leadership League. And on his right, yes, that's correct, we've got Barbara Quaye, the facilitator of the Inclusive Ventures program and our business development director at AAEDC. So Will and Barbara, welcome to the podcast. Great to have you guys here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having me.
And just to kick things off, Will, if you could tell everyone a little bit about how you partnered with AAEDC to create and launch the program.
Well, the quick story is the curriculum initially started really 2006.
Okay.
When I started my company, and because with my consulting firm, our clients are small businesses.
Right.
And so from 2006 to 2016, thousands of clients, hundreds of hours of training, free training to the community, and then I decided, hey, I need to write a book.
Yep.
From there, I just between 2016 and 2019, I need to write a curriculum because I needed something that I could produce over and over again and touch as many people as possible.
Right.
So then, pandemic happened. I was chair of the Chamber of Commerce. The businesses were crashing all over the country,
Yeah.
and that's where I decided, okay, I'm going to roll it out now.
Okay.
And so we created a 6-week version. That went really well, and it was a free program to the community.
Yep.
Morgan State University saw it. They liked it. We did a version for them. Johns Hopkins Carey Business School saw it. We did a version for them. And then AAEDC saw it, and they said, hey, we have an initiative we're doing. We think it'll work well. So then we started working together on it, and then we created an 8-week version.
Right.
They, AAEDC added a lot of enhancements to it. So adding a law mentor,
Okay.
an accounting mentor, an HR mentor, that wasn't a part of my curriculum before.
Okay. So
And then,
it really grew.
oh yeah, absolutely.
okay.
Really enhanced the program.
Great.
And then with all the resources, of course, AAEDC offers
Yep.
after and the grant, it really made the program absolutely incredible.
Right.
And so we did 3 cohorts, and they went really, really well. Then, of course, Barbara joined us right in during the fourth cohort.
Yep.
That went well, and then now we're in the 5th, and this cohort's probably the group that has the highest amount of revenue.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So we had to create a version where a person who's making $1 million can really benefit from it.
Right.
So the program has really grown from working with companies that were, 50, 60, 70,000 to where we have a version of it where a person who's at $1 million, $2 million can really see how to scale, how to grow, understand their projections, and understand when they're going to hire people in the county. It's tremendous. I'm really proud of it.
That's awesome. Yeah, because obviously the next step is different for everyone, so that makes sense.
Now, Barbara, you've been through one full session so far, right? So you have now been indoctrinated into the IVP family. So I wanted to know, with all the resources and everything that Steve was talking about earlier, what are some of those resources that are available?
One of the resources is after completion of the program, all of the graduates receive a $5,000 operational grant to use towards assisting with their business needs. And then some of the other resources that are available are the workforce training grant. If they're looking to improve the training for some of their employees, they receive up to $1,000 per employee, up to 50%. And if they decide to take a class at the community college, they'll get up to 60%.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
We also have the vote loan, which is casino revenue, 1.5%, minimum $25,000 up to $500,000 that they can use if they're looking to possibly get a commercial space, or they're looking to do some improvements at their location as well. In addition to that, we have the workforce where they can assist with locating employees and fill positions for that business owner.
Yeah, that one's been popular because, I mean, you start a business and you got to get training. You got to,
Yes.
you got to get people on because that's, it's your main reason for starting a business is starting opportunities for everybody else. So that's great. That's great.
And I know just from, we've had a couple of IVP grads on the podcast, and I think the mentorship that they get out of the program is really, really powerful too, because, just having someone to guide you through what they've already been through, right?
That is correct. One of the things, just to touch back on that, Steve, has been probably the best feedback that I've had from the cohort 4 was the mentors. They give them a different insight, and then also by them being entrepreneurs, been in the business for over 20 years, they can definitely assist them with growing in that particular area
Because
of
it's
their
like
expertise.
real life experience.
Yes.
It's like, I always, my father always tells us, I could teach you or life could teach you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so sometimes the best lessons are from those who have lived through it, who've gone through it, and can give you that real world aspect of it.
They've already succeeded.
Exactly.
They want to help everybody else. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
save you from making mistakes they made.
Yeah. So now, Barbara, as the guy who actually designs the flyers and gets all the information out and all that good stuff, I wanted to know, it says here that there was a extra $5,000 for IVP participants that they can receive after filling out their survey
Yes.
18 months after they graduate.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, could you give a little bit more about that?
So they're the past graduates, and they will be receiving $5,000 after completion of a survey, and that will include questions on how many jobs were created, how would you be utilizing the money, also to how has the program impacted your business, and then also the other criteria of them still being in business, still generating revenue. And they will, once they complete that, they will receive the $5,000 in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks after that.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
That's awesome,
Yes.
because then, it keeps us in touch with them, but it also, helps us know kind of the power of the program,
Yes.
obviously, that it's accomplishing what everyone wants it to accomplish. And speaking of that, again, going to go to the notes here, but obviously it was a huge year last year for IVP in terms of making headlines, getting in the news, getting sponsorships. So to summarize some of that news really quickly, I loved writing about and sharing all sorts of headlines. Like I said, this is all in 2022, we had Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development sign on as official sponsor of IVP. That was thing one. Thing two was our friends at BG&E gave us a $75,000 grant to keep IVP going and growing. County Executive Pittman very generously secured over $1 million for it in his budget. And then last but not least, in December, we made our last headline of the year, which was U.S. Senator Chris Van Hollen and U.S. Senator Ben Cardin securing $1.65 million in federal funding for IVP. So obviously, with all that in mind, Will, that's got to be music to your ears.
Right.
That IVP is getting that much attention, both in terms of just awareness of it and financial support for it, obviously. So why do you think, it's attracted so much attention, and proven to be such a success, both for, the individual graduates and for just regional economy as a whole?
Well, I think that, so I've been in business almost 20 years.
Yep.
And I wouldn't want to waste my time going to a training program, hearing from someone about selling, and they've never sold anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, why am I here?
Yeah.
And I think that I think the power of the program is that everyone who is speaking to them is an entrepreneur,
Right.
who is successful. So immediately the participants understand the value and they understand this is real and they
Yeah.
understand that they should listen.
Right.
So I think that happens pretty much in the first week.
Yeah.
And then throughout the program, we're constantly giving them things that they never thought about.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to things that maybe they thought about or they've even done, but it essentially reassures them. And it says,
Right.
you know what? Okay, I did make the right choice there. Because as an
Okay.
entrepreneur, it's really a lonely thing.
Yeah.
Because you can't really talk, for people who aren't entrepreneurs, they don't really understand.
Right.
Like the pressure that comes with, I have to make payroll every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
whether I get paid or not.
Right.
So
Right.
so that kind of pressure, the loneliness that comes with being an entrepreneur, the program gives a place for entrepreneurs to come together, share resources, share that their anxieties, share when they have a need for something, we all come together and help them. So the program is very powerful in that regard, in addition to the information that helps them understand when they should project when they're going to hire people and how
Right.
they're going to hire people, how they're going to afford it. So all those things are really baked into the program. So when I ask people, like, hey, how's the program, right? And the things they say that they learn the most and they appreciate the most was when they understand their numbers now.
Mm-hmm.
They understand cash flow projections. They understand how to hire people.
Right.
And they understand how to access capital.
Yep.
All those things are essential for a business to grow. And of course, when we're hiring people, right, has a tremendous impact on the local economy.
Right.
When people are getting loans, that means they can do things like expand and get different locations. That, of course, has a great impact on the local economy. And
Yeah.
if they're making more money by increasing their revenue, that helps the tax base, which,
Yep.
of course, adds more teachers and more
Yep,
police
yes.
officers and better schools. So it has a ripple effect across
Right.
the entire region. Everybody benefits. The business owners learn.
Right.
The people they hire, they get jobs, and then the customers who they're working with, they get better products, better services that are more focused on that customer's need, because that's a big part of what we teach.
Right,
So I think just all around, everybody wins.
Yeah.
And I think that it's evident in the number of jobs that have been created across the region, the investment that our elected officials are putting into the program,
Right.
and the happiness that I can see in the graduates, because they tell their friends, their fellow entrepreneurs, hey, you should take 8 weeks of your life
Yep.
and dedicate it to this program and be selfish about your time and understand how you can really grow your business. So, and those are probably more anecdotal things. I know that obviously with the survey that's coming out, you'll be able to have more specific statistics. But I talk to these folks. Once they're in the program, they're my babies.
Yeah.
And we
Yep.
keep talking.
I know
So
you say that,
and
yeah.
we stay connected, and they're telling me how they're adding jobs,
Right.
and it's amazing. So
Yeah.
anecdotally, program's doing really well. People are happy about it. People are investing in it, and they're telling their friends. So seemingly it seems like everything is going really, really well.
Yeah, one that we had on the podcast last year, Emily from Pirate Adventures.
Oh, yeah.
To a couple of points you said there. First, I remember she told us, oh, wow, really, even though you get a $5,000 operational grant at the end, 8 weeks is a lot. In 3 hours for 8 weeks, it's a big commitment. But to your point, you get so much more, again, anecdotally from what we've heard, that you can't get out of. You could read 1 million pages of textbooks on, getting the education part. But to what you said about the mentorship and the, having a small group of people that are going through the same thing as you, and then getting that information from people that have been through it, like we were saying earlier.
And another piece that's super important for people to understand about if they're thinking about coming to the program is that we have a standard curriculum, so everyone learns the same things, but really where they customize it is in the mentoring sessions.
Right.
Because then they can talk to the lawyer about their legal issues or the accountant
Yep.
about their accounting issues, the HR, hey, when do I hire? What's the difference between a
Yeah.
1099 employee? What should I do? What's a company handbook? What's my liability? So that's where they can really customize to their business and their business needs. So everyone comes out, I guess, essentially with a different program.
Right.
But
right.
but at the end though, they come out with the same result. They have
Yeah.
a plan and a budget for their growth. So it's working.
That's awesome.
I think we need an IVP for parenthood. Because the common denominator with both is that when you create a business and you birth that business, because you're really birthing the business, what happens is that there's no format, there's no rule book to kind of guide you into everything, and everybody always has business advice for you. Some is good, some is bad, but it's great hearing from people that have gone through it, and also just seeing the success rate that IVP has had. I think honestly is awesome, and it's everything that we need to be able to grow these businesses. And actually, in growing the businesses, you're growing the economy, and it's a ripple effect all across the board. So with those successes, Barbara, with the IVP being so successful and really gaining ground, what are you looking forward to? Like what's
What I'm looking forward to is this year we'll have 5, possibly 6, possibly growing to have more cohorts per year. Also, I'm looking forward to looking maybe at possibly other programs and things like that in the future that can be created. And then also just looking forward to, since this is my second cohort that I am part of, how can I continue to help the business owner to increase revenue, hire qualified employees, and then also just keep providing them with the resources and being readily available for them.
Yeah. Putting that in perspective, it's a lot going from 2 per year to either 5 or 6 this year. We're tripling the amount. So we'll I think we've got 40 grads from the first 2 years, and doing some of the math, we'll definitely be in the 100 territory by the end of 2023. So that's awesome. And I guess one of the huge things that I love seeing when sometimes the first I learn about these is when I'm announcing who's graduated, their names and their business, is obviously the huge diversity of obviously the business owners, but the businesses they're in. Like you were saying, that you could be pretty new and have pretty low revenue to being $1 million company. So what are a couple of the, kind of ones that really strike out as most memorable? In one or both of you can answer this in your minds.
I will say probably the Luxury Career Club has been one. Tanu is the CEO and owner. I feel like her business is definitely very unique. I will say currently in this cohort, if I can go ahead and mention, it was something new, the AARP driving school. And then also I will say the landscaping, Hamel's Landscaping, will probably say the most.
Oh, yep. We've had her on the pod.
Yes,
Yeah,
I would say
that's
that
awesome.
just stand out. Also, their story, more so.
Absolutely.
Their story kind of stuck out to me.
Yeah. Starting out, she
Yeah.
worked at the
How she-
place.
yes,
and then-
exactly.
That's interesting
Exactly.
because so she, I don't know when she first, partnered with AAEDC, but we learned from the podcast with her. She was already a Volt loan recipient, so it's cool to see someone take advantage of the Volt loan, then later get into IVP to learn how to grow even more. That's neat.
And then also, I had the opportunity, so this go around, some of the thing that I'm doing different is trying to visit each business owner so I can actually get a perspective versus me doing an interview, speaking with them about different needs and resources that we have available is lime and salt. I had a chance to visit them, and I love the customer service because they've never actually physically met me. The service was great, the food was good. So those are things I would say they were definitely another business owner that I really enjoyed and had a chance to build a relationship with them. That's awesome. And he's also a vote loan.
I was gonna say,
recipient
I
as
remember
well.
him from the list. Yep.
Him and yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How about you, Will?
Well, a good dad loves all his kids.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're babies. As you said, they're your babies.
Will's gonna be
so
getting phone calls after
Right,
this.
right. They're like, oh, so you don't remember me, right?
you can't split the baby.
It's I'm just fortunate I get to do what I love, like all
Yeah.
day long. And I mean, really, the thing is, we create like these really, intimate relationships with these business owners, and they tell you everything.
Yeah.
And I try and help them as best I can, and we connect them to resources. So it's really such relationships with everyone.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that and respect it. And and then they're all special. I think the thing that probably for me that sticks out the most is how some of them have tripled revenue.
Wow.
Like I don't want to put anybody out there like that.
Yeah, I
but,
was gonna say.
but like,
Hopefully, we'll find out from the survey that
Right.
But
but they call me. Like they'll say,
Yeah.
Will, I just got this contract, or
Yeah.
Will, I finished up my taxes and I tripled my revenue.
yeah,
In fact, I think one person actually put that on the AAEDC site. So
yeah,
but it's so at our here's one last thing. At our last social, probably one of the coolest moments for me with the program, where we had it at the warehouse,
yeah.
the interior design.
That was
And so they were in our first cohort.
Right.
And so we mapped out how, because she didn't have a warehouse.
right.
She had
Yep.
storage units.
That's a cool, and she was on the podcast too.
Right.
And that's
So we figured out the projections on how to afford that.
right.
And the thing is, and I didn't really, I do that. It's a consistent thing I do with everybody, right?
Yeah.
And so when I walked in, though, she said, Will, this is because of what we did. And then she introduced me to employees that she didn't have before.
Yeah.
And they were like, and they didn't even know.
Yep.
They were like, oh, you haven't always had this warehouse? And she was
Right.
like, no.
Right.
Will help me to figure out how. I was like, wow. Like,
Yeah.
that really made me feel amazing.
Yeah.
Something that we talked about had manifested into reality.
Yeah.
The baby is walking.
Yep.
Oh, shoot.
They're a cool story.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So those kind of things for me, and they happen all the time, and they're all special. But that really is one of my driving forces for, because we do the program so often that we're constantly trying to make it better.
Yep.
So we work really hard to improve every single time, improve every slide.
Yeah.
If someone has a question, we incorporate that in. So eventually we get to a place where they don't have any questions. I mean,
Yeah.
ideally we're like, wow, everything's in here. I gained so much knowledge. So all those things, I guess, being said, I really enjoy working with the folks, but what I love to see is how they grow and how they really hire people that I'll never meet. The ripple effect we have across the county, people I'll never ever meet, their kids, they get to go to college. I mean, it's just amazing the impact that we're going to have, and we'll never even know.
Right.
Even after the survey, we'll get, of course, a lot of information, but we'll never know the ripple effect it has for generations.
Yeah.
It's incredible what we do in here.
Yeah, as some viewers and listeners might remember, that was Muralize It, and they started the business, Andrea and Sonia. They started it pretty much in their basements and garages.
Yeah.
Then they moved from Annapolis to the warehouse in Crofton. Then through IVP, they really grew the business even more, and I think they've even looked into some additional AAEDC resources to grow it even past that. So that really shows kind of how seamless it all is, and a lot of it is just, whether before or after IVP participation, kind of knowing how much other opportunities exist out there, and how if you know they exist, you can take advantage of them to really, really grow. And also, just to remind everybody, as Will said, that was our first ever IVP social. And I think one of the really powerful things, as you said, was having it at a graduate's business, because it really, and especially theirs, because it was a visual kind of manifestation of how they'd grown grown over the last couple of years.
And if I could add in,
Yeah.
even in being there, it felt like a social, of course, but it felt more like a family reunion.
Yep.
And it had that feeling. The only thing I was missing was the potato salad and chicken and
Well, we had the music
everything.
going.
But maybe I'm just hungry right now. But it was the greatest feeling because it was just successful people who, they're all down to earth, and they're all real, and it's real businesses.
And a lot of them hadn't even met each other in person, right?
Absolutely.
Because we had a lot of alumni that obviously hadn't met the most recent cohort, but then a lot of the members of the cohort 4 hadn't met in person because a big advantage of IVP is, as everyone probably knows, it's offered through Zoom, so you don't have to get in a room for 8 straight weeks, all different locations. So that makes it very accessible. But it was really cool to see all them like, oh, I've seen your face for 8 straight weeks, but here you are in person. Because Barbara, like you were saying before, seeing people in person is a powerful thing.
It definitely is.
So then I'll save at least one of the last questions that I think is a really important one. Is first saying, yes, we will be having an IVP social this year, 2023, hopefully sometime probably in the summer after at least a few cohorts have graduated. And yes, we will be inviting our newly elected governor, Wes Moore. So we're looking at you, Wes Moore. Hopefully you or maybe Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller can make it. We would love to see you there. But anyway, with all that being said, why should someone consider applying to participate in IVP? If you guys could each you've obviously covered a lot of it, but if you could just give this is why you out there, you entrepreneur, should think about this.
I'll go first. I think the program, for me, still being fairly new with the organization, cohort 4, I had a chance to actually sit through the program and watch Will Renard, his team, facilitate it. I'm not a business owner, but I definitely felt that he touched on a lot of things, having a financial background that was most important. As a business owner, you've done the work, you're generating money, but there are other moving parts that as a business owner, you're just not privy to have that information. So I think one of the important things, not just saying that, but the curriculum that he's created has helped the business owners and to create more, generate more revenue, look at cutting costs, and also other resources that he provided. One that stuck out was the insurance, about when you have a business, a partner, how you need to have insurance as well. So that was an important piece that I remember. But just to grow, it's a free program. The resources are there. So I think if you're looking to grow in your business, you definitely should take advantage of the Inclusive Ventures program.
Yep.
Well, I'm a consultant, so I'm a systems and process guy. And so my intention since 2006 was really trying to figure out how to create the SOPs of creating a successful, sustainable, profitable business. Like that was really the point of it. So it's like there has to be a way to really lock it down. And I think that we're getting closer and closer every time we teach it. And so I think if you're a person you're the kind of person who doesn't want to make mistakes and you want to avoid trial and error, it's great for you because it tells you everything you need to know so you don't get into trouble.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you're a person who has hit a plateau and you're like, how do I go past whatever revenue level where you are now? Or how do I figure out how to scale my business and add more people? Or instead of me working in the day-to-day all the time, let me work on my business instead of in my business. You hit that plateau, we teach you how to do that. Or if you're a person who is just hungry for more. They want to hire more people. They want to have a bigger impact on their community. They want to make more money. They want to have a comfortable retirement. We talk a lot about that and how to create a business that's valuable so people want to work there
Right.
But also it's valuable enough so if you decide you want to sell it,
Yeah.
it has enough revenue in it that you can retire comfortably. So if you're a person who wants to avoid trial and error, if you hit a plateau or if you want to grow your business and you're hungry for more, I encourage you to apply. But my one caveat is, I really want people who are serious.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, like, look, it's free. But these are top-notch resources, the best people I know
Right.
in every single.
Yeah, you can't put a price tag on it, really, right?
Not
I mean,
at
if
all.
you were taking 24 hours of paying for hourly expert consultations,
Yeah.
it'd be a hefty price tag for sure.
So if you're serious about your growth, you're serious about making an impact here in the county, I encourage you to apply.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, going into 2023, we are here, and I want to ask Barbara, for anybody who wants to join the new IVP cohorts and all that, can you let us know how that works and how to actually join?
Yes. So currently now, we have opened an application round. They can visit our website at AAEDC.org and apply under the Minority Business tab, or they can contact me directly at bquaye@AAEDC.org. There is a vetting process and an interviewing process that we do go through, and they can complete the application, and I'm excited to start this new journey of the next cohort, which will be cohort 6.
Yeah, you gotta love taking rolling admissions now.
Yes,
'cause
always.
It's no deadlines, but so we're always considering, right?
Yes, always.
We're always open. That's a good thing. So hopefully the great business owners will start or keep applying, and we'll really see a lot of applications throughout the year. So I guess to close things up, Will and Barbara, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
It's been awesome. And as a reminder to everyone out there, you can watch this podcast, any past podcasts, including lots of them, as we mentioned, with IVP grads, and then all of our future podcasts, of course, on both Facebook and YouTube. And then if you are sure to follow us on also Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. Got them all. No TikTok yet. Still no TikTok.
no
We're
TikTok
keeping a weekly update on that.
You won't see me dancing yet. You won't see me dancing yet.
We'll let you know if and when it happens. But so follow us there for all the news about IVP, all the loan programs we mentioned, anything and everything, and of course a ton of great economic development news from Anne Arundel County. So see you next time.
Great, thank you.